And we are live. Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello.
Oh, Diamond, you hit your mic. You hit your mic. Oh, there you go.
Hi, everyone. Thank you guys so much for joining in. As you are coming in, please comment and let us know where you are watching from. I already see Lisa saying that she's watching from New York. We have Mississippi in the house. So as you join, please not only comment, let us know where you're watching from, but also hit the like button. And also, please share with anyone that you know needs this information. We have Gigi from Cali in the house. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We have Jersey in the house, and we greatly appreciate everyone that is here. As we come in, some housekeeping rules, as we usually do. If you have any questions, please leave them in the chat. We are watching the chat. We will not be, just skipping over your questions. We'll be saving them for later, and we will circle back to them. So as you have questions or if you have comments, concerns, whatever, you guys just put it in the chat, and we are going to come back to it. So as you guys know, we are doing this No More Getting Out the Mud Challenge. And so tonight's topic has to do with generational wealth and how you can leverage credit in a couple of different ways to actually generate generational wealth. And we're going to be talking about methods that all types of credit scores can use. So this isn't just for people where you might think, oh, well, my credit isn't together. We're going to be talking about ways that anybody can do it from the ground up. So as you're coming in, thank you guys so much. We see Chicago, Wisconsin, Seattle, Oklahoma, Arizona in the house, H-Town in the house. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And also, we wanted to let you guys know that we have opened up personal coaching, and we have a special discount code for anybody that is looking to join and looking to have a personal one-on-one credit coaching session, and we will be revealing that discount code in just a few. So if you're someone that's been looking for personal coaching with Sherry, please comment discount, and we're going to be dropping that in just a moment. So I'm going to kick it over to you, Mom, so that you can take
And
it
and
over.
if anybody comes in later on, if you're catching this, because most of the people actually watch the live after the live end, we'll leave that discount code. It will be in the comment section. And please let us know where you're coming from. And also, Diamond, what was the reply that you needed? You had
Anyone that is interested in personal coaching with Sherry to get uh, to have her review your reports, please comment the word discount, and we will be revealing what the discount code is and how you can find it.
So if you catch this live afterward and you're interested, comment discount. So you can put it in the comment section if the live ended. And we do not want to take up a lot of your time. We want to talk about attainable steps to get use credit lines to get generational wealth. Okay, because one of the things that we're really seeing, especially if you're lived on this planet for a minute now, if you're approaching in your 30s, later 30s or 40s or 50s, you're seeing the expensive things, especially if you lived after the pandemic, really went up. Okay. So life doesn't seem to get in like really a lot easier. Yes, we have a lot of AI technology, but things are getting a lot higher. Let's just be real. One of the categories into buying a home, and one of the largest ways in the United States to pass on generational wealth is owning a home, and that's becoming almost unattainable. So, we want to talk about ways because let's be real, you guys. The way that AI is coming in as being a disruptor right now, so many changes. We have this change with this now. We don't know if it's a war or if it's a conflict on any of these things. What we're calling, what we're actively in, we're even us as Americans are not sure, but we know that oil prices, it seems day after day, is being affected. And so oil, gas, that gets into everything. So things we're in a time of uncertainty, but there's things that you can do to gain assets by leveraging your credit and credit lines. Now, one of the ways that you can leverage credit, and it's a simple way that I always talk about to gain assets, is silver, right? You see this, guys? Silver. Why silver? Oh, I wish I had a dollar, but I don't have a dollar. I was supposed to bring a actual dollar with me, but this is an American silver eagle. If you don't know, it's an equivalent of currency of exchange, medium of exchange of a dollar. Many of you guys, if you were my age group in the 80s, you might actually run across this and take it to the store. If you run across it now, please don't do that. Okay. We used to see these a lot. Don't do that, because this is equivalent to a dollar, but now this take about like $70. Okay. So apparently something is awry here. That paper dollar that we have, even though they're the same medium of exchange, but why do it take 70 of the paper dollars to get this? Because this is actually real silver, right? And so this is an asset. Okay. So it's a asset where it's securing your wealth, because when I started buying, or I've been buying silver for a long time and was telling people, even back in 2019, this got, the silver was like about 12 to $14. And now this is up around $70. And so with silver, it's not that the price of this have went up, it's the purchasing of our dollar went down. So after the pandemic, they started printing a lot of paper money, and actual real tangible items have doubled. So this is why you see things like silver going up. But just like when we're talking about this war and technology and AI, a lot of things that's coming into play with that. If you hear, even with Venezuela, even with Cuba, some of these conflicts, if you listen, one thing you'll hear they talk about, even with Venezuela, with rare earth minerals. So a lot of this, even in Cuba, there is rare earth minerals. So this is kind of these minerals in our backyard that they need for AI and for these data centers. We're seeing a lot of technology, whether you like it or not. It's not going back. It's part of it. And silver is a big part of it, you guys. When you look at far as Tesla batteries, those EV batteries, when you're looking at solar panels, they use a lot of silver conduits in that. Silver is an industrial metal. So where you're seeing silver prices going really high, then they manipulate the market, because if this goes really high, right now silver is almost like gas when it comes, and the US actually, silver might be a little bit more valuable than gas, because since the US took over Venezuela, now have a large, one of the largest oil reserves in the world, one of, maybe it's about number three. And we're now becoming, I think, the largest, believe it or not, oil producer. And this is why they're actually doing a refinery down in Texas, or in Texas, where I am. So the new wave, you guys, technology is silver, these precious metals. And this is something you can actually hold on to. And a lot of people talk about, hey, you can get ETFs. ETFs is you investing in like a stock with gold shares, silver shares. You don't want to do that. You now looking at the way the banking system is going. Now they're talking about cyber attacks that might come along with that. We have conflicts with Russia. We keep hearing about rare earth minerals, even in that Ukrainian war. That's the way it's going. and somebody put in, and it's going with no paper soon. That's going to be part of the wave too. Everything is converting to digital. So it would not be a bad idea for you to secure some of this physical stuff for yourself. And silver is still not out of the way in order for you to invest in. Just one of those things, and you can pass this on to your children. And it's something that you can possibly do. I use Quicksilver. Also, I get gold. I get the smaller, I'll be honest. I'm really thinking about it more as a prepper. So I like to get smaller, even amounts of gold. If you want to invest in larger gold coins, I am not against that. But gold is extremely expensive. So you can get the smaller um, grams of gold and have that. People say, well, what happened? I can't eat silver. I can't eat gold. You can always take this to your local coin shop if you get in a tight, and they'll be glad to take it. That's probably where you're going to get some of the best prices to turn around if you need to surrender it. And then you can get cash paper dollars. You have states like Texas and now Florida actually are setting up banks around your silver and gold, and they want you to deposit it there in the bank and give you a credit card. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Florida is setting up. And now the crazy thing with all the gains that they're making, because the wealthy's been doing this, and that's why they changed it all. Now they're going back to gold and silver as actual currency, as tender. So they're being slick with it. And with this, you don't have the tax liability. It's real. If it increase in value, especially, I try to use currencies like this. If you can, I'll stick, if you're getting silver, maple leaves, perf mint. The cougarans are good, South African cougarans, but anything from China, I might stray away from. I'll be honest with you. But the US Silver Eagle is a little more pricey. Sometimes getting the maple leaves, and that's Canadian perf mint, that might be more of a discount. So I'm just telling you guys, and Diamond, you could drop it off if they think about Quicksilver. If you want to change out with their wealth building program of just changing out of your paper money and have them to send you some currency like this. Now, the reason where this tie into credit, I get this with my credit card. You can actually, with Quicksilver, if you have a credit card, use your credit card. It's a good way to rack up travel points. And as long as you pay it off before the due date, you do not, like with your credit card, actually have interest on your new purchases. So I buy my silver and gold through my credit card, and I get points like that. So that's one of the ways. And actually, Quicksilver even sent me one a raffle. Even this cute little these are just and you know what, you guys, if you go to the website, actually they send you free silver as a sample. Check that out. They do send you free silver one time, but you got to pay the shipping. On some of that, they'll send you a sample of this free silver, so y'all can go there and check that out. I told people that one time, I think last year, for my birthday. Hey, thank you, Miss Murphy. How are you doing? Thank you for joining me. But and you can, I believe they send you only one, I think is one per person. If you want to test out and get some physical silver, they do have that for free. But that is the only, but you have to pay for the shipping. Okay, just to let you guys know, you have to pay for the shipping. Okay, so that's a way, and you can leverage your credit in order to do that. That will help you also gain points and actually get assets. Another way, and Diamond, maybe you can talk about this with me. A cheap, economical way is investing in real estate, but digital real estate. So, digital real estate, things like ideas like websites. So you guys can also go and purchase actual blogs. Diamond, what is the site that actually, do you know off the top of your head, that sell blogs? I mean, where you can buy websites.
I
Can
know
you
it's called Flippa.
Flipper? Thank you, Flipper. So
Not Flippa, Flippa.
Flipper is a site. That's exactly the site where you can actually already buy websites. Some of them you can bid it, or they already have traffic coming to that website, and they turn around and you can buy it. And some of them already generate income, and you can buy those, some of those sites, with your credit card. So that can be, oh, thank you so much, Miss Murphy, so much for the super chat. Thank you so much. You
Thank
always support us. Thank you. We really appreciate you. Thank you. And Flippa, you guys, that could be a way where you can have digital real estate, where you can have a cash flowing asset that you can actually buy. Diamond, do you want to add more details to that?
Yeah, so with Flippa, you can, like you said, you could buy, not only that, but if you have a website that you currently have and have traffic coming to, even if you're not exactly sure what to do with it, you can sell it on Flippa as well, because there's a lot of people looking to purchase already built businesses. So for a lot of you, I know a lot of people jumped on the drop shipping wave, and you may not know exactly what to do, especially in these times where, imports are being taxed and things are happening where you might not know where to price. You can actually sell your business, and you don't have to allow it to go down the drain if you're having traffic come to it, or even if you have a blog and you're just not sure how to monetize it. You can sell it on Flippa, but you want to really be able to, with flippa.com, if you're looking to buy a website, you want to make sure that you are negotiating. So just don't take the price that they have, but a lot of people are open to negotiations, and you want to look for something that you can also sustain. And on top of that, if you do end up finding a business, and a lot of these are probably going to be wholesaling or going to be drop shipping businesses that are here, you want to leverage social media, because a lot of these platforms are not leveraging social media to actually promote that business. And if you are using platforms like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, you don't actually have to show your face, because I know that that's a difficulty for a lot of people. You don't have to show your face to promote these products, especially if you're promoting products. You may want to order it yourself and have people create UGC content. We talk about how you can become a UGC creator, but if you are owning a online businesses, you actually want to invest in UGC creators. So you can use different apps like Billy-O to find these people to create these reviews that you can put on the website and start making sales. And you can do it for pretty cheap as well. So that's what I have to add there. And I'm going to drop the links in just a moment.
And additionally, with those sites, Google AdSense is another option for that. Google AdSense is a great way. Um, uh, Diamond is even talking about, drop your link on the channel, YouTube, you guys. We keep talking about that. Absolutely free. There's ways where if you're creative, you can do AI generated content, AI generated content. You don't want to do AI slop, because a lot of people have seen, even with a lot of deleting of the channels, YouTube is trying to attack AI slop channels. But the AI channels are not going away. If you have fresh ideas, maybe even creating content around Bible stories or history, that if you're a history buff and you really want to do a history or story channel, even a children type of channel with content, or even comedy, you might even have that your niche in that. A lot of one of the ones I like to see, especially on Instagram, and they have in shorts, is the stick people. That, one of them with Veronica, that her going to work, and it's just a parody of different work environments, if you ever worked in an office, and those little parodies. So you can use different ways, even with AI content. But Diamond to talk about other ways. And we're just talking about generational wealth and how you can leverage that and how it ties into credit. As I mentioned last week, there's the carrot card. There's new waves of fintech companies that are trying to support creators. Carrot, if you're generating income on YouTube or social media, your TikTok, they would give you a credit card not based off of your credit. Myself, I got a $25,000 credit card. Diamond got a $25,000 credit card. So by generating income, you can also build credit, and it's designed to leverage that credit to help you build your business on YouTube. And Diamond, you can touch on some other things that you can add to that social media type of wave of making money. And even one of them is a great one is affiliate links.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
Affiliate links is definitely a great one. The one that I would suggest people to start with is to do digital services, and then after you do digital services, you can kind of turn that service into a digital product if you want to be the most lucrative. And if you have any type of skill, any type of knowledge that other people have asked you, like, hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? If you have people coming to you, whether it's for prayer, you have people coming to you.
And we want to shout out, hey, Shonda Martin.
Hi,
Thank
Shonda.
you. Thank you. Everybody follow Shonda Martin. She has a credit channel and she's huge on TikTok. Shonda on a couple of platforms. Please follow Shonda. Thank you, Shonda. And Shonda is such a real person as a content creator, and
Yes.
she is such a genuine person. So, and that's another thing when we talked about that. I know she was busy. We want to even bring her on our lives, like to feature women. A lot of us in this sector, we that's what Diamond, we're talking about, the no more getting it out the mud.
Yeah.
You can collab with other creators, and she's one of those people that when we met her at conferences, and we encourage you guys, that's another way you can build generational wealth. You want to collab with other creators. A lot of people can get in a little petty situation with they and you see that spilling all over the internet, but we don't hate, we collaborate. You know what I'm saying? That's the no more getting it out the mud challenge for us. So thank you, Shonda. We appreciate you checking us out.
Thank you. And even with that, on YouTube, YouTube now has a feature that encourages collaboration. So you guys want to dive deep into that if you're looking to leverage social media to actually start making money. And I think that's something that myself, my mother Sherry, and Shonda could talk a lot about is building generational wealth and building legacy through social media. And something I was talking about one of my clients that I coach about how to start a YouTube channel and how to monetize that YouTube channel is that when you're getting started, you want to try to figure out the most organic ways possible. And something that people keep running into is they pay for all these subscriptions and they pay for this and they pay for that, trying to get started with this, but you want to do this in the most organic way possible. And that's kind of what I talk about on my secondary channel, on how to use these YouTube features and utilize social media to actually create generational wealth. And it is still a lucrative thing to do. So that's definitely one way there. And I'm going to toss it back to you, Mom.
And another thing, Diamond, you also are building a group. Make sure people, because that's what I love that Shonda came in, and we can mention that collaboration, you guys. Collaboration. You see a lot of the Twitch streamers doing that. You can grow by working together, collaborating. It's not stealing from anybody. Everybody have their own personality and what they connect to. The great thing too, you guys, about content creation, and I know a lot of people feel like I'm shy or this. The great thing about YouTube, there's a person that is just like you or connect to just like you. Like I was just talking about the silver. And it's a guy on YouTube. His name is Silver Dragons. Like if you are a person that's I just like numismatics coins and collector coins like myself, he don't even show himself. Never seen this man a day in my life. All you see is his hands, his fingers, okay? Because he has such a big collection of silver and gold, and he go to different shops. He don't want to show himself on camera. But you can create content without showing yourself. Like Diamond was saying, creating UGC content. This lady, I mean, she has shorts. There's people that all they do is shorts. And I'm not gonna lie, this lady is on a weight loss journey. She got me last year with them shorts. She was doing her walk pad. Girl, I was just seeing them. I said, let me get that walk pad. And she did a challenge.
Yeah.
That woman is a marketing genius because she got me on it. She with Diamond, remember I bought the mini stuff.
Yeah.
And this is not a thin lady. I mean, the lady is really have she's on a weight loss journey, a nice weight loss journey. And we're not saying 20 pounds or 60 pounds. So it's not like you have to be perfect. Those are the people that really encourage you. It's like, because I kept seeing her, she's like, today I'm doing my walk pad at 15 minutes a day. And she's not doing a whole long cook. We're talking about a 60-second. And she show you through her 15-minute walk and her progression up. Okay, this is another day done. Day one, doing a 30-day challenge. She did the stepper. Then she moved on to the walk pad. And you know what I did? Bought exactly from her affiliate link. Because a lot of it, if we're watching people do this, we want the exact thing they have. And she's actually marketing that. Mm-hmm. So that's an idea for you guys. If you love something or you're passionate or you're going through a healing journey, or if you are going through a certain situation, not only could that be some of the greatest support at the same time to build a genuine community that cares about you, that want to see you succeed, but it's a great way to also build that income and that economy. And that's what we're talking about, that generational wealth that you can build having on what we call it, digital real estate. And that's the cheapest way to get in, where you don't even have to host a website. You don't have to, and it's so many affiliates that you can work with that content. So I'll land there.
Yes, yeah. You said it perfectly. And another thing, like you said, you don't even have to show your face. And you said someone showing their hands. I've seen people not even show their hands. They're wearing gloves. And for some reason, it creates this sense of mystery that intrigues people. I mean, it intrigues me for sure. Someone asked, what is UGC? UGC is user generated content. And it's basically when brands will pay regular people to create a product review video, obviously in favor of the brand. And they will use the video that you created either on their website, or they'll run ads so that they can get other people to purchase their product. So basically, it looks like a very authentic review. And it's not that it's not authentic, but that's what they're paying for. So even when you are looking at reviews and you're scrolling through TikTok and you're trying to figure out, if I'm going to purchase this product, that's a UGC video. So that's what UGC is. And the cool thing,
and one of the great ones is wigs. I don't know about anybody else. I'm going to see wigs, pants. I'm a tall female, so I'm really into it because I'm 5'10". So I have to go and I'm going to search, how does this, and I love the hauls where people will do and show, hey, I got this off of Amazon. This how it looks on this height. If you're this height, they'll show that. And so when I'm telling you guys, this stuff really works because it actually helps you save money to really see there's that product. If you're into beauty, a lot of you ladies, it was this one lady I was seeing, she She's all I follow her. I don't know her name, but I pass by her. But she's a curvy girl, and she does a lot of fashion hauls. Ladies, you can do fashion hauls if that's a thing. A summer fashion haul, um, Thanksgiving fashion haul, or winter fashion haul. What Valentine's Day lookbook. You can do that, and you can actually generate income. And we're talking about, this is making money while you sleep. You put that content out, and you can make money with these digital real estate assets. So that's what it is. It's digital real estate, but unlike tangible real estate, where you have to have excellent credit, this is a way for you to get in the game and clean up your credit and create some cash flow at the same time with products you actually use. So you're leveraging something that you bought and using it not only to make, to get that money back for what you bought, but actually to make more income while you sleep. And you're talking about, some of this stuff is evergreen content, and you can constantly generate income off of it. So those are some ideas. Diamond, anything else? I'm sorry, I cut you off. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's good. Yeah.
And another one that we want to talk about now is equipment. There's ways that you can use your credit to buy equipment in order to make money. We're trying to give you things that are attainable if you're starting now to work up. One of them, vending machines. So if you clean up your credit, business credit, or even personal credit, Diamond, can you tell them about the opportunities with vending machines?
Yes, so I know that a lot of people, vending machines was a big fad, and it was definitely a recognizable way to start generating passive income. And so the cool thing is that when AI came in, they actually came out with AI vending machines. Now these are still physical vending machines, but the cool thing is, well, I want to know if how many people have seen this, where you might go into a store, or if you're renting, you might go into your apartment complex, like the leasing office, or just anywhere, any convenience place that you go into, and they have a fridge, but you have to scan your card first. So what you end up doing is scanning your card. The machine authorizes whether or not you have enough money, first of all, because this is a lot of questions that people ask. If you have enough money on the card for what you may purchase. And then when you open the fridge, as you're taking out, let's say you grab an energy drink, then you grab a bottle of water, and then you grab a sandwich. So as you're taking things out like a fridge, it's automatically scanning every single purchase, and it's charging your card. And this tends to be a way that actually ends up making a lot more money just on a psychological basis. And the cool thing about these AI vending machines is that there are a lot of companies right now that will allow you to rent a vending machine. So you don't even have to own it. You could rent a vending machine from $100 to about $300 per month. So if you are able to get a high limit credit card, or you're able to get a credit card, you can utilize that card to start generating you income. So you could just place that payment on the card, let's say $300 a month, and you chip at it every single month. You try to keep yourself under that 30% utilization while you're generating that income, and you just make deals with different commercial businesses that basically you want to shape it as a luxury item, right? So not just you want to call people up, hey, I have a vending machine for you, but hey, I have a luxury item equipment that I would like to do business with you. And so you may have to pay like rent to them. Sometimes their rent is like $70 a month or something like that to pay for the utility fees for it. But it's a way that you end up generating income. And a lot of people definitely report it going making anywhere from $1,000 to like $20,000 a month simply through these AI machines, just depending on how many you have and how many locations you have. So I'll drop, if you guys are interested, let me know in the comment section below. Just type in 1 if you guys are just interested in knowing more about these AI vending machines, and I'll go ahead and drop some of the websites that will allow you to rent them for less than $200 a month, and that this is a way that you can start generating some passive income. And if you create an entire route within your local cities, you can really make bank and replace your full-time income. Not only replace, supersede your full-time income in this way. So I see people putting one in the chat.
And you know what I love about that idea? Because we had other ideas on the list, and some people are active. I want to act. They're just because maybe like the passive thing. Sometimes for some people in their mind, they're like, "Hey, I'm old school," But I love that because you can go to your job and you're making money. And this is a passive way. And let us know if this is giving you value. Drop a heart in the comment section so we know if it's not. Sometimes we don't want to information overload you, but just give you ideas to inspire you on. I have seen people that did vending machines where they get their whole family involved. And so this can be something, if you're a parent, grandparent, this can be a teachable way too for your grandchildren or your children, where you get the whole family to feel invested and start to teach your children about entrepreneurship. Because as we see, AI is just disrupting in every industry. Are our children going to really have a chance to get into the market? Do your grandchildren? It's scary that they're talking about universal income, because if they don't need people, in my mind, I feel like the useless eater. You know what? Do we want to be there? Or the movies, The Purge? Do those sci-fi thrillers? But do it have a grain of truth in that? So do you want to build now for your kids and your grandchildren and your lineage? Because we don't know where things are going to be coming down the line. And if you guys like this, give us a thumbs up so we make sure. But just to tie on how you guys can use your credit to build generational wealth. So thank you, Diamond, for that knowledge. And if you guys ever need to consult with Diamond, if you have ideas that she can help you with, putting different platforms in place. She's the driver of my back office and most of the email marketing in different directions. You can definitely connect with her. Now, for some of my people that's active, you're saying, hey, I want to start small. I love that idea, but where's some safe things I can do that I can control? Cleaning businesses. So you might can get some equipment with that business line of credit, cleaning business, or even with your personal credit. Some of the things we did, lawn care. We talk about a lot, property preservation industry. We have a book on that. Diamond herself is into field inspections. She has a field inspection business. That's a way that you can build clientele. And we did it all as a group, as a family. So you can get business equipment in those areas. If you want to get into property preservation, get contracts working with banks and doing work that way, you can use that business credit to get things that you would need, maybe a sub pump to pump out basements, generators, things like that, that can really, and certain tools to build your business. Another one is mobile car detailing. So if you are a person that likes to detail, or people know you for detailing, like you're really good. There's some guys that's really good with cleaning their cars. Maybe you want to build a mobile detailing business. And so you can use even your credit, business credit for that. That can be a way. And also ATM machines is another way that you can also invest in with business credit. And that can be a way to build up for generational wealth. Some people are dog people. So you can even had a tenant one time that did a dog grooming business. And some people have a mobile dog grooming business. If you're really an animal person, that might be another way that you can leverage business credit. So that is another idea. And we'll move on to one of the last ones that I'm going to land on for that generational wealth is real estate. So we talked about these things earlier where you can build small steps to build up wealth for your family, that it doesn't take a large investment. But real estate is another way that you can get in. And we are actually home ownership is the way, the number one way in the United States that people pass on generational wealth. And some of the things that you need to do if you're looking to live in your own home, to be your own homeowner, is really cleaning up your credit. One of the ways that I got into real estate, I was a single mother. I first went with a income producing property. And so that's one of the ways that a lot of people enter in, especially it depends on where you live. I'm from Jersey, and Jersey is very expensive. It's always been an expensive market compared to outside New York City to the rest of the country. So it's just certain pockets, things are going to be higher. And even when I started, I really wasn't able to carry a mortgage by myself, being a single parent for my daughter. Bought my first income producing property at 21, because one of the ways, if you don't know, when you get an investment property and you're living there, you can go through FHA. FHA, it allows you to put 3%, 3.5% down. For me purchasing that income property, it was a 3-family. It allowed me to actually, without owning or controlling the home, because I was aiming for a certain area, a income producing property, the banks actually, before you buy that home, equate that rental to your income. So instead of like when you're buying a single family home, say generally, I'm using a general term, if you're going to buy a home, say you make 100,000 a year, they will times that by 3. Okay, so you can qualify for 300,000. Now, depending on where you live, you know, taxes come into that, property taxes come into play, and state by state. I'm from Jersey, taxes is high. Property taxes is can run you $15,000 a year easy, real easy. So, those things play into your qualification of your home, because if you're paying like $15,000, $10,000 a year, that's almost like $1,000 extra in your mortgage just going to property taxes. Different people, maybe if you're in the South, your property taxes are not that high. That can actually allow for you to afford a lot more home because your property taxes are cheaper. But if you are looking for your qualification, that comes into play. And also HOA fees. If you're also looking in communities with an HOA, that also plays a factor in your affordability and what you qualify. Going with the income producing property, they actually give you income. So it doesn't take away, it actually adds into. So I was able, because I was going for a multifamily and to get more income, I could qualify for a home at a higher price because I was going to generate that income. And so a lot of times it depends on cycles, because I've been a landlord. I bought a second one at 25, rental property, Connecticut. Different times, different rules change. Sometimes it was 100% of that rental income they would accredit it to you. Then sometimes it was 75%, or the rules might say 65%. But in actual of the going rent of that type of unit. So if you have let's say in New Jersey, 2-bedroom, a 1-bedroom apartment in certain areas are going for $2,100 a month. So if it's going for that 100%, they're going to give that 2,100 times 12 months to you to add to your income. So you can be much higher in what you can qualify for. And additionally, you're not carrying that mortgage by yourself. The tenant is actually paying your mortgage for you, especially if you get in a 3-family, which is where I started off with. The 2 units had me living rent free. and the home increased in value. So I am a person, I never paid a mortgage by myself. Then when you go and buy a single family home, now you got an income producing property that actually adds to your income. And that's building generational wealth, and you're leveraging that. Also, that home is a tax write off for all my people that's making a lot of money. Sometimes you don't want to show all your money. You can write that off on your taxes. You can do the Trump deal, okay? Because it was when he was in office the last time, usually with income producing properties, they had capped it for a loss at 25,000. He removed that cap. They and then there's things called depreciation when you have income producing property. They're actually take well now, and like I said, it depends on your tax years. You might not can take that whole say that 100,000 at that time, that 1 year for that write-off, but they'll let you carry it over, so year after year, that depreciation. So that can be a way, what they call house hacking, for you to actually get in the game to build generational wealth. If you also have some family members, get in a multi-unit. Instead of everybody paying rent, your daughter paying rent, your son paying rent, maybe you can get a multi-unit and everybody taking unit. And nobody really might end up discounting your rent, and you all can build generational wealth together. Even when you move on, it was a lot of homeowners we seen, especially I'm originally from Newark, New Jersey, in the area when they were building up. That's what a lot of people were doing. They would actually, as families, buy together, especially when they were building those new homes, all taking a unit. And so as people moved out, then they all share the rental income together. And that added to when they went and moved on to their single family home. Now they have rent to support that. Or you could sell the home, you guys can cash out and sell the home, and then you can walk with that income, or that equity out the home. Now, do I say you should sell? No, you should not sell. The rule of thumb, if the smartest way is to keep that home, take a home equity line of credit and pull the cash off, and you continue to keep that asset, because it'll grow. And actually, you're growing in wealth. You're generating income at the same time as the house appreciate in value at the same time. So you're, a lot of times in real estate, you're better off by keeping that in place. You can use it as a tax shelter, and additionally, if you cash out of that, you trigger certain what is it called, capital gains tax, which is the highest tax. So a lot of the wealthy, even with stocks, they borrow against that. They don't cash that out. And that's a strategy to keep wealth in your family. So you want to get these assets, and you can leverage these assets to continue to make you cash flow. Another way is investing in raw land. Maybe you say, hey, that's really out of my reach. Maybe in your region, raw land could be more affordable. So I went with that option. We bought raw some acres of land, and maybe you guys can build and leverage that land, and you guys can build a homestead or a compound, especially if you get an acre of land. That's plenty enough room to develop, and everybody can take a quarter acre and live on. And once you get control of that land, you could take that land, just like Monopoly, to the bank, leverage that deed, and you can also build a home. The bank can consider the land as the down payment, as your collateral. So those are some ideas on how you guys can use credit to get generational wealth. If you're getting business credit lines, you can buy, go to tax lien sales. You might can catch that land, one site, ruralvacantland.com, Land Watch. There's a lot of places where you can buy raw land cheap. They'll finance it for you, so it'll be owner finance. So you don't have to have good credit. You just have to make those payments. Check out ruralvacantland.com. Landmodo is another one. Landwatch, where you can find owner finance deals on land and even homes. They do have some homes there. You just got to see where these homes are. And depending on your state, it might be some in your state. But you can also go to the HUD website where you can auction and buy homes, maybe a down payment. If you get that business credit card where it don't show on your personal credit, you can leverage that zero interest business credit cards. That might be your way to get and to control a property. And maybe if you want to get into fixing and flipping, if you want to explore that, that can be another way. So hopefully this is informational. Diamond, let's see if we can take any questions, because I sure don't want to give information overload, but we just want to, like I said, inspire you guys, maybe with some ideas that you just never heard before.
Yeah, so if you guys got any type of gems from this conversation thus far, please put a 1 in the chat. This just lets us know that you guys are still here, that you're listening, and that what we're saying is not in vain. But I know for sure that it's been great information. So go ahead and validate us for a second and put a 1 in the chat as we start to
And
go
if you
through.
guys have credit questions, I'll answer those now. So if you have questions about charge-offs, I even got you on that. We just wanted to also, we know a lot of people problem, like I always said, I never met a person that just woke up one day and said, you know what, I'm just going to mess up my credit. You know, nobody does that. Something happened, and it's generally in the cash flow. You lose a job, you get hurt, your spouse lost a job, income coming in. You might have lost your spouse. Somebody passed away. So we want to give you holistic ideas and also actionable steps that you can take to better your life.
Yes, thank you for everyone that's putting a 1 in the chat. I wanted to just highlight some of the comments that we have. And if you guys, again, have questions, please do leave them. So we had a comment that said, is anyone interested in operating a home for veterans, recovery homes, children aging out of foster care, etc.? It's easy to acquire real estate, but knowing how to operate the property and the training helps. I like this comment because
That's
this
true.
is kind of what we're talking about, which is collaboration. And so if there's anyone that is in that field and in that industry that wants to really collaborate here, please let us know. And hopefully we can facilitate something with everybody coming together.
And we actually know my father dealt in that realm with that, like almost like a group home and business with that. And it was a family that run that business. And sometimes you can do it with children, like she said, aging out, or underage children that need good homes. But we, you know, when you're dealing in those industries, you need to be a compassionate person. We, you know, you definitely don't want to lead first about the money, because you're dealing with human lives, and it's really built, especially when it comes down to children, foster children who might have been in and out of different homes. You have to lead with, be a compassionate person, because not saying the child, they have a lot of trauma, and so you have to be patient, or even with elderly people, and just keep in mind the support need to be there, because it's a full-time job. That is something you don't get a break from. It's an all day, you don't clock out. When it's time to go on vacation, somebody have to be there to cover. So you definitely don't, that's a good area to work with groups and support. So it is people that, you know, I knew a couple of people growing up that did that as a business, but they were people of compassion for that. So definitely make sure those that have compassion, we need those people in the industries. We really do. Not for those who want the check. It's so many people that had got, you know, grew up in that system and were really kind of discarded, because all that person was there, not for the love, but just to make an income. So we encourage, and we need compassionate people to get in those fields.
Yes, 100%. And I wanted to ask a question to you, Mom, about because a lot of people ask us about business credit, and I actually had one of my students, Miss Glinda B, and she actually texted me and asked me about business credit while we were on the live. So she was
Yeah.
talking about how does someone actually gain business credit, say if they're looking to start a business. So they're early stages in it, they're in a startup phase, and maybe that revenue isn't there. Do you have any advice for people in that zone?
And so even when you're in that zone, that is totally a good place to start. The important part, if you're starting off with no revenue, you need to have a credit score of 700 starting right now and above. So you want to make sure you don't have any bankruptcies. We don't want to see late payments in the last 2 years. You don't want to have, especially like any open accounts that's actively behind. You want to make sure that any charge offs, collections, your score is clean. And so with the bank, because you don't have any experience, you don't have any generated revenue, what they're going to take is to projected revenue that you can put that you're going to make in that industry. So for lawn care, for us in the area we was doing at Middlesex County, the average might have been 200,000 that a business. So that's what you can project on your application because you're a new business. And generally what banks are going to do, they don't give you loans, big banks from the door. They want to see about 2 years, but they can give you zero interest free for 12 months, some 18 months, some even 24 months, depending on your credit. And what they can offer you, that zero interest credit card, and you can use that to build that. Once you start generating income, you have banks like American Express. If that business been in for a year, they can give you a business line of credit. A business line of credit is like a credit line, but you could pull the cash off. So that is usable. And then when you pay it back, then you don't carry interest, but when you pay it back, it's there for you to pull. So it's better than a business loan because once you pay off a business loan, that's it for the business loan. But the business line of credit, you always have it open and you can pull it off. You have banks like Truist. That's really good if you have a relationship PNC Bank. But when it comes down to business credit, they're going to want, even with credit unions, what they're basing your ability to run the business is off of how you ran your personal life. So they're definitely going to want to see that you have a good, solid, clean credit score. So, but it's possible to get those things removed. One thing I tell people, if you have negative items, get started. We get a lot of people that one bureau might become clear, like an Equifax, but you might even have something on TransUnion or Experian. So we start leveraging the one that you have clear. There's banks that strictly pull from Equifax. There's some banks that strictly pull from Experian. So we would want to aim at those banks once you cleared up your personal credit for business credit. And one other thing, caveat, you do need to have a $5,000 personal credit card in your name, not an authorized user that you got off of your good credit line of credit in order to qualify for that business credit. So that's a requirement because they, like I said, going back, they're basing your ability to run a business on how you ran your life. So they know it takes a good minute for somebody to build up with their banking relationships to get a $5,000 credit card. So that's pretty much what they want to see.
My next question would be, like you said, to if you're looking for business credit, the first thing that you need to do is really focus in on your personal credit.
Mhm.
Let's say you're someone and you have charge offs, you have collections, you got hard inquiries. What? where do you start on this? And let's say you're in the 600 range, but you're in the low 600 range. What is your plan of attack? Like, what is the first thing that you should be handling if you have an array of issues on your credit report?
Well, that's the first thing you want to do is analyze your credit, right? So we want to know, why is my credit score here like this way? So even working with people, one of the ways they might not have anything negative, it could just be a utilization issue that they don't know about. I have seen people with small little credit cards that a $300 credit limit, and they need to pay that down. So that's the good thing about the elite credit system, because we use smart credit where it has score boost and it takes your guessing out of there. It'll show you, hey, you pay this down, your credit score is here. So it'll tell you straight up. So that's one issue. Utilization could be the issue. If you have a negative item on your credit report, what could be going on with charge offs or collections? If that charge off or collection is not hitting you late every month, your score can go up. I have seen people with a 725 credit score and they have a collection. So it could be that you have a charge off or a collection account that's hitting you late every month. So that's one of the key things we want to walk through and see, do you have any item hitting you late every month? And charge offs, that's a violation of the FCRA. We want to dispute that, because anything hitting you late every month, they're trying to hold your credit score down, because they know what I just told you. As long as it's not reporting late every month after 90 days, your score starts to go up. You could be in the 700s with a charge off and a collection. Now, certain banks might not take you as a customer because that might be a no-go for them, but it could be some places you can go, but it's not with business credit if you're not generating income. So we would want to immediately try to aim for those negative items. That's what we would want to focus on. And we would want to focus on the nuisance one to attack that aggressively. So one of the things too, when we do the one-on-one consultation, I like to gather facts. Some of you guys might have had a data breach, or it might be a certain circumstance that you had with that particular account. That might makes the difference on how you can get that off faster. Just giving details of that information, we might can talk together, and there could be a pivot where you can get that off faster if you have some circumstances that we can really hash out and leverage that to our advantage.
Miss Murphy had a question. She was saying she has obey a 5K limit in 3 credit cards. Would she qualify for business credit if she's purchased a home and her highest credit limit is $10,000?
Yes, she would be really good to she would be good to go. And you said on my Amazon Amex. So what I would do too, Miss Murphy, you can go to Amex, and if you are a customer on the personal side with American Express, anything on the business side, soft pull approvals. So if you're with Amex, that is a good place to go. And it sounds like, as long as you don't have any charge of medical, because sometimes some medical stuff, just check your credit report, but you sound like a good candidate. A lot of times, if you want to get a lot more, you want to set up your LLC correct with the right codes, and you want to be clear about what industry. I will say certain industries are more high risk. Trucking is high risk. Real estate investment is high risk. So you wouldn't want to just go in, I'm trying to be a landlord with this. You don't want to do that. The real estate crash of 2008 and 6, they're wary about that. Fix a flip. If you like, hey, I'm a general contractor. Yeah, some banks don't mess with that. So you want to pick the right way and make sure you're fundable. Okay. So we don't want to say, hey, I'm starting a cannabis business. There's a lot of people that like to, but banks are not crazy about cannabis business. So just make sure you do your research too on what is the best industry for me to go and to get funded. So software, they like e-commerce businesses, they like safe businesses. So that's where I would start too, just to make sure, because the way you set up that business, um that's going to be part of your approvals also. So Diamond, anybody else?
Well, I had another question. If
Mhm.
anyone else has questions that we did not go over just yet, please do leave them in the comment section below. But when trying to get higher lines of credit, is it better to request a credit limit increase on a card that you already have, or should you just apply for a new credit card?
Let's use Miss Murphy case. I would tell her if she got that already higher credit limit, I would tell her somebody with, so I love that you asked that, because say with Miss Murphy, I'm going to gather she's over that 700 credit score. If you're already dealing with a $10,000 limit. So what, one of the rule of thumbs, if you're over that 700 credit score, age of credit is really sensitive for you, because adding a new line of credit can bring down your credit score, because age of credit is based on the overall age of all your credit lines. So adding a new one decrease your average age of credit. So with her, I would tell her to go to her banks, see if she can increase those credit lines, make sure she look, can I do it online without getting a hard inquiry? Some banks will allow you to request with a soft pull, like to see if you can increase your credit line with no hard inquiry. So you want to see like a Discover, Capital One, so you can apply without a hard inquiry. Navy Federal. A lot of people go back and forth. I asked for credit line increases in the system, messaging them, and I didn't get a hard inquiry. So different banks will allow that. For people over that 700 credit score, going for the credit line increase first is best, because you maintain that age of credit. So you can see your credit score increase because you're increasing the line of credit, but you maintain your age. So that's what I would go for. It's nothing wrong with um getting a new credit card if it's going to benefit you. But if you're over that 700 credit score, like Miss Murphy is saying, I would go to that business line of credit, because if you can get that business line of credit, it don't report to your personal credit. You can have balances over there that will not jack up your utilization, and you can get more credit because your credit score will stay pristine. You won't have utilization issues with that. So that's the way. And even with those hard inquiries, because they'll pull your credit to PG, but you can get those swiped off because you don't have an account attached to that showing up on your personal credit file if it's not showing up as a business credit card.
Miss Murphy mentioned that she has been requesting credit limit increases on accounts that she's had for over 10 years. Why might Capital One system is so delayed though? So why might
Yeah.
someone not be able to get a limit increase if they have a good relationship with this with the credit and the lenders?
It could be the certain companies. So Capital One is a nuisance like that. They want you to use that card. Like for 90 days, they're known you got to spend it up, pay it down, spend it up, paying down. And they're known to gatekeep you like that. So that's Capital One. Chase, American Express, they should bump you up, but it could be your utilization on certain cards. They might get a little weary. Understand too, the times that we in, a lot of people are defaulting on um on credit card accounts. So you might have to make sure your utilization is going to be between 1% and about 10%. um so they're gonna scrutinize a little more heavier on that. So one of the reasons to look at your hard inquiries, certain banks like Chase is inquiry sensitive, not so much American Express, but American Express might be a little resistant. Understand they're not a national bank like Bank of America and Chase. They have more exposure in this time. They're primarily just a business credit card. So people think of the name that it rings bells. The reason why it rings bells, like, oh, it's prestige, it's a business credit card, but they're not a huge bank like a Chase, like a Citibank. So they have a very low tolerance for loss. So you will see in hard times, Capital One, Amex would be one of the first ones to cut them credit lines, good and not good. They don't care. You got good credit, what? They gonna come. Look, we need to slow this down, because they're trying to limit their exposure to loss. So you just got to know a lot of times the bank rules that you're dealing with. Navy Federal, prime example, they have a 91.3 rule. So if you apply, get approved for a product, whether you're approved or not, you cannot apply for a product 91 days or 3 bank statements. So even if you go for inquiry, not an inquiry, for a credit line increase before that window of time, it's a no automatically. So that's what you want to do. I know it sounds like a lot, but you got to know the bank rules. You get what I'm saying? Another one like Discover was known for this. They only allow you to have one new credit card in a year. So even if and I had them sending me offers, hey, you want this card? You go over there, they'll be like, oh, nope. Like, well, why you was pulling up on? They have a rule. They will only let you get one card a year, and they have a max 2 cards. So some of these rules, some of these banks too, they have hidden rules. We only allow you to play. If we gave you a credit line increase 6 months ago, don't come asking us before that. Like Navy Federal got the 91.3 rule, but if they give you an increase or a credit card, they're going to tell you call up. Don't come over here before 6 months. Like, you can do that, but most likely it's a no. So you get what I'm saying? So you definitely, before y'all go in, make sure your utilization is on point. Make sure you haven't had any late payments, because they will pull your stuff. So some people say, well, I was late over there. They'll still say no. So, just make sure, or if you had just got hit with a collection, they'll say no. You get what I'm saying? So just make sure everything is in order before that.
We had another question that says, should you focus on getting the cards paid off, or getting the utilization on the cards that has high utilization paid down first for a higher credit score?
The cards with the higher utilization paid down. Yeah. You don't want anything to be close to be maxed out. Like anything going over like 50% start getting real choppy. Yeah. So even if you can shift it around, sometimes you have other cards you might can balance transfer to. Discover allow you to balance transfer. It's some banks that might allow you to balance transfer. See if you have any open space with other credit cards, you could sometimes just shift that around. So yes, get the highest utilization down first. And you want to consider next after that, interest rates. Which one is really smacking you? Go with the highest utilization first, because you got to get it down. It's not helping you. Then also consider, if you got something going neck and neck, interest rates. So prime example, Navy Federal, you might have a balance and be like, hey, my Navy Federal balance is high, but their interest rate could be like only 13%. So if you got a Discover card over there or a Chase, you need to go handle them. Just don't wait. You know what I'm saying? You'll have more disposable income by paying them down, because the interest rates over there is 26% versus Navy Federal, it's like 13% on this card. No, I need to deal with this Chase card. If I get that down, since the interest, once I pay it off, then I might be paying $300 in interest. Now I could throw that on my Navy Federal card. So yeah, you want to just consider those things like that. And sometimes that take a phone call. That take a phone call. I had to do a phone call to myself. Had to relook at. Let me look at this card interest. I'm not saying, because we all get stuff, and don't forget, if you come in on a promotion, if you don't keep up with it, sometimes stuff change. Your interest rate bump up. It'll be like in a window of time, then it changed. That interest rate change on you. So just make sure you understand what you're paying.
We had another question from Carlton Taylor that said, can you address getting an EIN in your name without starting an LLC?
Oh, you can actually get an EIN number connected to your name. You have to go to the IRS website, so you can connect an EIN number directly to your own personal name. And now the only thing with that, you got to do research. Miss Murphy brought up one, like American Express don't allow for that. So that's why if people tell you it's best to get an LLC, because some banks will report that, like American Express is one, they're going to report it to your personal credit. So your best way to get at those credit cards, you want to start an LLC, or you can get multiple LLCs and just set them up right, and you'll get less no's, and they will give you larger lines. They'll give you larger lines.
And we had another question that said, someone, Michael, I wanted to just shout out, that said that this was his first time here and he's tuning in from Los Angeles. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Yes, and welcome on. So I had a question about the difference between, how does the wealthy use credit differently than the average person, since we're talking about leveraging credit for generational wealth?
One of the ways that they look at, they're always, and if you hear the news and a lot that come in, especially if you have Republicans in office, they look at their tax liabilities. That's one thing they're obsessed about, is their tax liabilities, because this is why you'll see a Bill Gates move out of not Bill Gates, Elon Musk move out of California, or what's the other one? Jeff Bezos, that just moved from Washington down to Florida. A lot of them, the first thing they're going to look in assets that they invest in, it has a lot to do with tax liability. One thing too is, in a lot of them invest in royalties, like they'll buy oil wells, like even with my mom come from Evergreen, Alabama, and some of those areas, if they find oil in your land, they pay, or near your land, they will pay royalties. It's a lot of wealthy investors. They're looking for royalties like that, oil subsidies, royalties to invest in, because they don't pay taxes the same. They get discount tax liabilities, and they can actually retain more of their wealth or income and invest in something else. So I think that's the way that they look at it, because it's like this: the more money you make, the more you're gonna fall in a ditch somewhere. You can make a lot, and that's what the wealthy know. If you make money and you don't spend anything, your tax liability is higher. So you fall in one ditch to end in another ditch. So a lot of them, about the way they structure their business with C corporations, all of what they're structuring, even to get having trust, it's all to avoid taxes. So people might not think, it's like a dollar saved is a dollar earned. And I think the average person that's working every day, the one thing we don't focus a lot about is really how much is your real tax liability. Like, that's one of the reasons why we moved. You know what I'm saying? Going to tax income free states, when you think about that, how much money, if you have been employed at the post office, you're making the same rate around the nation. But somebody in Florida, versus a high tax state like a California or a New York or a New Jersey, they're making more than you because they're not paying income, a state income tax. So how much are they making? The same job, same hourly rate, but that person by the end of the year may be making $15,000 more than you because they lived in a whole nother state. And what could you invest in with $15,000 each year if you're on a job for 30 years? So I think that's one of the biggest things is tax liabilities, is to really think about that, getting cash flowing assets if you can. Well, we're at that 9:30 mark. And if any, is there any more questions? Because we'll land for here.
Yeah, two, I just wanted to highlight. One was just a testimonial from Frank Johnson that said, "You all motivated me to apply for a credit limit increase. I just applied and I got another 8,000."
Congratulations, Frank. Congratulations. I don't know where your credit score is. Make sure if you want to apply for anything, let that 8,000 show up on your credit report, okay? Because if you apply for another credit card, like I always tell you guys, banks only trust you as the last bank trusts you. So when they see that additional $8,000 report on your credit report, that next bank will be more apt to give you above that 8K plus what you already have on your card. So if you're up to, let's say, a $15,000 credit card now, because you got that $8,000 credit line increase, the next bank from the door may qualify you for a $17,000 or a $20,000 credit card. So congratulations to you, Frank.
Um, Carlton, you may need to elaborate a little bit on this question, but it said, can you still get large limits with an 850 credit score and an EIN? I'm not sure if you're asking, can you get an EIN? And
it depends on what your credit profile is set up like, because at 850 credit score, without like 2 years of history, and without, you don't want a thin credit profile too. So you want to have about 5 to 6 revolving personal credit cards. And like I said, meeting that limit of $5,000 and up is going to be a requirement for that business credit qualification. So it depends to what's on your credit profile. You can get to an 850 credit score. What I'm saying is, like, let's say with credit builder accounts, say if I have a bunch of store cards of $1,000 and I got an 850 credit score, it doesn't qualify you for business credit. You got to meet that, they want to see that $5,000 and up credit line, and they want to see a little age of credit on there too. They don't like, hey, I just got credit like 6 months ago. No, that's probably not going to fly with them. So yeah, you want to put some age. If you want to book a consultation, we look over your credit. Anybody with business credit, it is certain ins and outs that you want to, like I said, they want to see that you kind of have experience. So they gonna want to see like 2 years of age of credit. So credit score is good to get a higher credit score, but credit score is not everything. Like I say, it's like losing weight is not everything. I can starve myself and lose muscle mass and I look terrible. You know what I'm saying? You could look like the crypt keeper, but you might want to look more fit by putting on more muscle mass. So your profile look better. And so it's the same thing. Yeah, we delete things off our credit report, but you want to put kind of like, you want to bulk your stuff up. Like, so certain things does matter. Like Miss Murphy saying she has an American, you do want to go to higher tier credit cards too. So we don't want a bunch like, hey, I got an 850 credit score and I got a bunch of subprime credit cards. Like, it's nothing wrong with starting there, but like a Destiny credit card, Credit One Bank credit card, you don't want a bunch of subprime neither. You want to try to get up the ladder That does matter too. And it matters the type of offers that come to you in the mail. So one of the reason why, just for prime example, I don't like secured credit cards. Secured credit cards to banks, when they pull and review that, look like you're on training wheels. Like, so like, why did you have to put a security deposit down? Then that means your credit, oh, they didn't trust you, you wasn't credit worthy. So believe it or not, they see that. If you don't believe me, if you ever had a secured credit card, all your offers in the mail was secured credit cards or lower tier credit cards. So sometimes it's a strategy that people kind of close that out. You can override that if you get a number of high limit credit cards or premium credit cards, then your offers change. But trust and believe, what banks are saying, what they're offering you, it kind of is the category what they're thinking about you. You get what I'm saying? So it's like if a dude taking you out and he saying, hey, we can go to McDonald's. I'm not saying, I'm just saying it kind of, because even a man who don't have a lot of money, he's going to make sure when he take you on that date, he's going to show up as his best. You get what I'm saying? I'm not taking you to McDonald's, but if a man that's what they offering you, that's pretty much what they're thinking about you. You get what I'm saying? That's the category where I'm thinking about you. So the banks do the same thing. You want somebody to take you to a higher tier restaurant, or the offer to be higher. So you want to also get yourself up that line. So it could be like we look at where you are on your credit profile. Like for somebody who's in our group, Miss Wilson, she'll be here. She had got cleaned up. And I'm like, listen, Miss Wilson, we need to be over here. Like, she was looking, I said, we need to deal. Now you good. We need to clean off these hard inquiries. And she didn't have a lot of credit lines on her in the last couple of years. I said, we need to get you to Chase first. We need to, because Chase have a 524 rule. So you cannot have 5 new credit cards in 24 months. Okay. Any 5 new line. If you over that 5, that 524, they don't care if you got an 850. It's a no. So that's what I was telling Miss Murphy. They don't care. I got a 900. We don't care. It's a no. Because certain banks have high rules. So the rule of thumb, if you want to get into Chase first, and then American Express is more tolerable. You know when it's a little more tolerable, but Chase is probably the most stringent bank. So a lot of times, if other banks see you already got a Chase card, they know like, whoa, you done met the requirement. You get what I'm saying? We already understand. Or if they see you have a mortgage, that's why mortgages is good. They know you went through the ringer, so you solid. We already know how we do. So that's what I'm saying. You also, it's not just a credit score. After a while, you want to try to take the best steps to build for you personally. So I think we'll land there, hopefully.
Yes. Thank you guys so much. And again, if you have more credit questions and you need someone to
Yeah.
look at your particular situation, then we are, for a limited time for the next 3 days, having a 40% off discount for anyone that is interested in personal credit coaching. Now, if you are already a part of the Elite Credit System, we have a special discount for you. So all you need to do is please email us at support@elitecreditsystem.com. You can find that in your Elite portal on ways to reach out to us so that we can make sure that you get that Elite discount, because we don't want you to have to pay full price, obviously.
And that's always going to be a rule of thumb for you guys. If you're an Elite member, always email us first. You will for the coaching. You're getting a heavy discount. So please don't, even that 40%, yours is way beyond that. So please just email us.
Yeah, so please email us before you begin booking, because we don't want you to have
Yeah.
to pay the full price because you are an Elite member. So we thank you guys so much for joining. Yes, I see some questions about, will this video be up later? All of our
Yeah.
lives are always up. You can find the replay after we get off of live. You can find all the links that we talked about after we get off of the live. And if you guys have any questions, you guys can go to a quick guide on how to boost your credit.com where you can
And give us some feedback, you guys, even after the live. Let us know, what do you need to know, or what do you have questions, or we would love that feedback to know how we can help you. Me and Diamond is big on research, so we have to even research for us to do content. Let us know if it's something that you guys are experiencing and you want to know, we want to know, and we will research it out, and we want to make content fit towards you. We really appreciate you guys just taking your time up and showing up here. We appreciate you. Somebody said, can I apply for a personal loan and a credit card at the same time? Um, yes. Certain banks will let you do, in certain credit unions, you can do one, you can apply for one, both, like Langley Credit Union is one of those. Langley Credit Union, they're one of those. If you got premium credit, but one thing you have to just keep in mind, applying for a personal loans and credit cards, especially personal loans, is going to be based off of DTI, debt to available, debt to income. So if your income and is your if your debt is like 50% or 55%, some of those personal banks are not going to lie like that high income. So I mean high debt to income. So you want to look at and just really look at your, you can find calculators if you want free calculators, so you can figure out what's your DTI. In some of the ways you might need to look at those applications, make sure you look at, is it annual income or household income? Because if it's household income, make sure you add your spouse income and those other things. If you are running a business, add that, child support, alimony, if you're getting it, make sure you include all your income. So keep that in mind. And also your home payment or your rent payment, that's not showing on your credit report. It depends. You might can, I don't know. I'm just saying that plays a part of your DTI. If it's not on your credit report, hey, consider that, because they don't want your housing cost is a lot. Yeah. But if you got a mortgage, you ain't hiding that. You can't deny it. You can't deny it. It is what it is, but certain things you just gotta, hey, folks ain't pulling up. They want to see that income, but just know that question is there for a reason. And what's your housing cost? That's there for a reason. They're not just asking it for their health. They are considering that. So if they ain't showing up, just keep that in mind. I'm just saying. I'll throw that out there. All right.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. And if you guys have any more questions, we will be back next week, same time as always, 9 p.m. EST. If you want to get your question to us, go to our website. And if you want a personalized plan for your situation, please book a one-on-one, and it is currently 40% off. So we hope that you all have a blessed and safe weekend.
All right. Enjoy your night. Be safe. Bye-bye.